try it. Let's see if it works. There we go. There's our matchup. Outstanding. Okay. Brilliant. Both players working on the getting set here, drawing opening hands, getting resources, etc., etc. Looks like Elliott's on the button. Let's move the marker to the right place. Elliott's going to mulligan. Daniel's going to keep it. Pretty sure I saw a timely go into that resource pile. Oh, I can turn these stupid things off. One of the things I'm learning to do is turn the lights in my face off between rounds. Since I'm not on camera, there's no need for you guys to see me in between rounds. And it saves my eyes a little bit of pain, which is quite lovely. This has been a fun day, guys. We've seen a lot of really interesting decks. So I was talking with the judge crew after the previous round. I am going to be able to get deck lists for all the matches that have been played up to this point, and of course, I'm going to grab deck lists for the top 8 while we sit down to play. Before we sit down to break to the top 8, that's what we were showing earlier, right there, Xanda. Once we get to top 8, all the deck lists become basically public knowledge, so none of that is hidden anymore. And then I'll get deck lists so that when we post the matches to YouTube later on, you guys were asking about that Rex deck. We'll absolutely get you a deck list for that when the time comes. Daniel here starting on Kylo's tie. Elliott with no turn 1 play. Just like that. Headed to turn 2. Elliott does have a turn 2 play, and it's the client. Bossk swings in for 3. And first blood goes to Daniel. Excuse me, I should say the silencer swings in for 3. He's going to play Bounty Hunter's Quarry and ping off client's shield. Still 2 ready resources for Daniel. Thinking? Nope, going to the next turn. Okay. Elliott's still on the button here. First action is his. 2 to base. Or is he doing the bounty? He's doing the bounty. My apologies. Bounty on the silencer, who swings in for... No, he was going to swing in for 3. Thought better of it. Going to play the super laser tech now. Don't think there are any yellow villain space units that come with ambush. I can think of the Azatuk, but that's a hero unit. Okay, swing in for 3 now. He's just going to take it down, hit it with a takedown, and heal for 5. Resourcing now into the big 5 resource turn. Just so that everybody's aware, both of these players are 4 and 1. So one of these players will go to 5 and 1 and should easily make the top 8. Whoever the follow-up is, whoever loses this match is going to be 4 and 2 and probably on the bubble. Okay, put a bounty on the super laser tech. That feels pretty awful, but I get it. He wants to be defeated. The client is going to be such an irritating card to play against when you're playing New Thrawn come the next set. Three for what, an open fire? Nope. 3 for punishing 1. An excellent card. If he can manage to defeat the client this round, punishing 1 can ready up and get in some damage. Elliott smuggling out a Bazine. Looking at price on your head, Dark Trooper and a Crate Dragon. Bazine can discard any one of those she wishes. You almost have to think it's the dragon. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Bossk's top end is so good that you almost want to clean it out quick as you can. We are going to deploy Bossk. Elliott going to grab the initiative back. Now we're going to put price on your head again and then knock off the client. So now Daniel's going to get to choose which one he's going to double up. He's going to double up the resource one. So he's resourced two. He's drawn 2 extra resources there and just dumped them into his resource pile. Now he's going to draw 10 cards and look for a unit that costs, I believe, 3 or less. I can see he's got at least 1 Dark Trooper there. And that's what's coming out. And he's going to ready the punishing 1 and 3 quick ones to base. Nice bunch of stacking triggers there. He caught it all. And he's going to go 2 to base with the super laser tech because he can, and then the bounty will expire. And ultimately, Elliott ends the turn back where he began at 6 damage on base. Who is Elliott's leader? That would be Cad Bane. Here, I'll show you a quick peek. That is Cad Bane. You generally see Cad Bane played in like a red version, which is a much more aggressive deck. His ability hasn't even been used yet that I can think of. But he likes to drop little bonus damage on people. However, you do see this blue version of him is kind of a thing. This deck sort of originated, one of the leaders in the first set that was later removed from competitive play was Boba Fett, who was a yellow villain, a cunning villain. And there was a blue version of that deck that worked, on a variety of different mechanics. I believe this variant of the deck is essentially rooted in that same thing. It just changed the leader out when Boba Fett went on the ban list. And it can work very well depending on how you play everything out. Going to go straight for a Vigilance here. Heal 5 and mill 6 off the top. You got a Vader. You got another Crate Dragon. That's got to feel pretty good for Elliott. A Cad Bane blue deck like this is trying to play the long game. The trick is going to be, can Daniel get his big units out before they get milled away? He's going to ambush in a Maul here and absolutely smash poor Bazine for some overrun damage on the base. 4 overrun at least. Cad will deploy. Bossk will attack into the base. Just to give you a quick look at Cad on his flip side. He hits decently hard. He attacks for 4 and has a big, beefy 8 health pool. He is going to go ahead and clear Bossk out with 4 damage. Oh, I see. The damage that would have hit Maul went to punishing 1. Punishing 1 going to swing in for 3. And is that 2 more off of... Yep. 2 more off of the Super Laser Tech, who had not attacked up to this point. I had a great suggestion earlier, right? Remember, I was kind of agonizing, guys. Remember a little bit talking about how to get audio off the table. Mic the players. I have shotgun mics. I've looked into all different kinds of things, but I was talking to one of the Botha Network guys here is literally like a professional camera operator. So he's kind of looking at the setup, and we were talking about, cameras and tech and everything. And he goes, what you need is just a little area mic that sits on the table and picks them up and within about a 4 or 5 foot radius. I thought, yes. That is exactly what I need, like one of those ones you see in a conference speakerphone kind of thing. So for Austin, hopefully, I will have that problem solved. All right, Elliott's still on the button here, down to 11 HP, and it's only about turn 7 or so, turn 6 maybe. I'm not even sure how many resources Daniel has the way he has them all piled up over there, but he's got to have at least 2 more than Elliott does, so he's probably sitting on a pile of 9 over there. Okay, we're going to be seeing Cad Bane in the Cad Bane deck. That makes a lot of sense. When that happens, he captures up to 3 units. that total 8 HP or less. So he's going to grab Maul and the super laser tag. Yeah, Maul and the super laser tag. Yep, Daniel still has 9 resources. Elliott just asked the same question I did. How many of you actually got over there? That's a good question. 3, 4, 5. I thought it's going to overwhelming barrage. So we're going to put 4 into the leader Cad, knock him out, and 1 onto regular old unit Cad. Elliott's going to claim, and then we're going to swing in for 5 out of punishing 1. 6 HP remaining, and Daniel's going to throw out a Dark Trooper just to be safe. Not that Elliott's probably going to attack with Cad Bane, right? Because that's the trick. You won't. Cad is. We were talking about this earlier. Somebody in chat basically said when you play Cad from behind, when you're ahead and you play Cad, he feels amazing. When you're behind and you play Cad, he feels terrible. And Elliott is 24 damage behind. Now, this blue-yellow deck is essentially built to outlast your opponent, right? Elliott's trying to the game for him. He wants the game to go as long as it possibly can. He's going to outlast you. That's his intention. He's struggling with that a little bit here. He's got to find a way to put damage downrange on punishing 1. He's only got 6 HP left, or he's got to draw into his heals. We've only seen 1 Vigilance, and we've seen 1 client go by. I'm not sure what other base healing he's really going to have. Okay, 6 for a Vigilance. We're going to knock off the Stormtrooper. Sorry, the Death Trooper, whatever, the Dark Trooper. I'll get it out in a minute. And heal for 5. Daniel looking through his resource row, knows he's got a time. I said we saw him resource a timely intervention earlier in the game, so we know he's got one down there. Let's see what he's going to pair it with. He's going to pair it with the Blizzard Walker. Sorry, excuse me, the Reinforcement Walker. That's going to turn Cad Bane into a small puddle of goo and free these 2 captives. They do come back exhausted, so he can't use them this round. But that Maul is a huge threat for Elliott. So now Elliott, granted, there's only 2 HP left on that Walker. Walker has 9 health, 7 damage. So Elliott now has 2 threats he has to deal with that will potentially turn him, grind him to dust very quickly, unless he has a response for them. Two resources left. Elliott goes ahead and claims. There comes 3 damage from punishing 1. Daniel absolutely has lethal on the board, all dependent on the sequencing here to see if Elliott can survive the turn. Should be 22 damage on base for Elliott. There we go. They got it right. Another timely in hand for Daniel. That could be impactful. Not sure what other units he's got in his hand. I see a Salacious Crumb, I think. Also hard to tell kind of what's in Elliott's hand. Elliott holds his cards very vertical. There's the Super Laser Blast. Just clean the whole board up. We need over here. Defeat every unit in play. Clean the board. So for the moment, Elliott having stabilized at about 8 HP. Now, is that a Relentless? I think it is a Salacious Crumb. It is a Salacious Crumb. Okay. A top target. Elliott now looking to heal some more damage off his base. Could heal 6 off of that card if he's got a way to kill off Salacious. Daniel also has Salacious is a weird one to try and bounty too, simply because he can just, as an action, he can bounce himself, and that would throw away the bounty. Daniel claims initiative change there, so he'll take the first action this round. Again, all Elliott's goal here is, when you see these yellow-blue pairings like this, he's trying to simply outlast. Yep, he's going to bounce bounce Cad Bane, just to show you what's happening here, for you're not familiar with the game. Salacious, as an action, he can return this unit to another's hand or deal any damage to a ground unit. So he can just do that to himself, for example, or something else, and just clear the bounty. There's the Avenger. Now we're getting into win condition territory for Elliott. This is exactly the sort of setup that these blue control decks want. Avenger coming out, puts it down. Vader coming onto the board here. And then every time Avenger attacks, Daniel has to lose a unit, and those attacks also hit for 8 damage. Vader not coming up with anything exciting there, but just another super laser tech. Daniel really wants to be on the initiative here. Let's see what Elliott does. It's Elliott's action. He's got a Devastator in his hand. I'm not quite sure why you wouldn't just play the Devastator and wipe out the Avenger, but that's not what he did. Yes, Saddledrell, Salacious is one of my favorite characters. He's going to open fire the Avenger. Really like that play. I think this one. There we go. Just straight up deal 4 damage to it. Actually, now that I say that, with putting the super laser tech down, Daniel has an easy place to soak the Avenger attack when it comes in. And it'll just go to his resource row, so he doesn't really care. He absolutely has a Devastator in his hand. Which, unless Elliott has a good answer for it, as soon as it hits the board, he is going to be in trouble. You know what he could be doing? Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, I know what's about to happen. He's sitting on a Timely and a Devastator. He can ambush that Devastator in, and the Devastator has Overwhelm. When he does that, it would push through 6 damage to Elliott's base. Going to take down Vader. Going to go ahead and swing in for 2. With the super laser tech, and then super laser tech becomes a resource. Devastator swings in for 8. Daniel should have it in his hand. He should have the win condition here. He should be able to timely in. Or maybe he resourced it. No, does he have the resources for this? He should. Yep. And there it is. That ought to do it. Overwhelm off the Devastator pushes 6 damage through to Elliott's base. And game 1 should go to Daniel. Yeah, he's not required to deal the damage. Instead, he wants the Overwhelm damage to get through, and so that's exactly what happens. So there it is. Game 1 going to Daniel. Reset everything. And head on to game 2. All right, let these guys sideboard for a minute. It's a very nice play, X-Chris. Devastator, ambushing in a Devastator is one of those crazy things. You don't generally see it, but people forget, I think, sometimes, when you were able to, I think in set 1, people didn't quite realize how good that play was, because you really couldn't ambush in a Devastator unless you had Piet. But with set 2 coming on board, the timely interventions being around, now it becomes, I won't say it's more possible, right? It's not easy. It's easy to do, but it's easier to do. More cards allow for the combo to occur. And it's not just Devastator. It's just giant units that have lots of Overwhelm. When you can ambush those in, it's nice because it's generally a play that your opponent can't necessarily see coming. Even if they can see it coming, there's nothing they can do about it. They can't stop you from playing cards out of your hand without attacking your hand directly. And sometimes those cards come out of your resource row, like the Timely Intervention, right? Which is exactly what happened there with Daniel. So as again, guys, both players 4-1. Winner of this match will be 5-1. Should, I will not guarantee, but should make top 8 cut. I feel very confident that will occur because we had, going into this round, we had 11 players. We had 2 5-0s and 9 4-1s. So the 2 5-0s are going to go play. That's going to leave us with 1 player who's undefeated. One of those will be 5-1. Out of the remaining 9 players, at least 4 of those will be 5-1. So that should leave us with a 6-0, 5 5-1s. So we're going to have, I think, 2 4-2s sneak into the top cut. So if you have 4-2 with strong modifiers, strong matchups, you should be able to make it into the top 8 today here in Mobile. But 5-1 is essentially a guarantee. One loss should get you there. And both of these players currently sitting on one loss and trying to hold there. You know, I'm a little biased. Watching, this is not meant as a knock against Elliott as a person or a player, but watching yellow-blue villain lose this matchup warms my heart a little bit because I know exactly how that deck is like supposed to work. It's supposed to stall and get to Avenger and then clean off the board. You know, Elliott played exactly what he was supposed to, right? He's supposed to move. You know, the line is clear the board with Super Laser, come in with Avenger, and then never allow them to reestablish a board presence. And usually about 3 turns later, Avenger clears up the board, it clears up the game, and you go home. I hate that. As a player, I despise this, and so it warms my heart a little bit to see it lose here. And having seen the strong showing out of Cole's Bossk Green earlier today, Daniel obviously playing Bossk Green very well here in round 6. I'm very, very excited to go home and build my own Bossk Green deck. Bossk is one of those leaders. When they first spoiled him, I was like super excited. I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be great. And then for whatever reason, I never played him, and I don't know why. And I look at it now like, why have I never played this guy? He's so good. So I need to spend more time playing and less time setting up overlays and cameras, apparently. All right, both players done with the sideboarding activities. Just getting cleared up, shuffled, and cut for game number 2. I'm going to make a quick update to OBS so I can actually keep up with YouTube chat better than I have been. Just a moment here. I have the ability to do this. I'm going to do it right now. There we go. All right, YouTube. My apologies. I'm so used to having all my chat smashed together into one window, but now I can see your chat comments as well. We'll try and engage with everybody here. Okay, let's move the initiative marker back where it belongs. Elliott losing game 1. He'll start game 2 on the button. Did he just claim? Wow. He just claimed, and Daniel's like, okay, let's just move on. Interesting. I get so used to seeing, I think, the super crazy heavy aggro decks that sometimes I forget that simple plays, like sometimes either you just don't draw into it or sometimes it just works. Daniel going straight for a resupply here. And we're going to have the quickest, most uninteresting early game we're going to have as we're going to go to turn 3 here in a sec. And literally only one card has been played. All right, coming in with Bazine. Lots of good options there. Salacious, he's going to opt for the price on your head. I think that's a great play to slow down the ramp. Already a 5 resource turn here for Daniel. You almost feel like Elliott's sort of declining to play units, but I mean, he does have the Bazine on the board now, but it's kind of like he just hasn't been playing a whole lot. Like, but if I put it out there, he's just going to put bounties on it and then murder it. Like, why would I want to do that? It's going to McClunky to just murder poor Salacious. Makes me sad. Poor Salacious getting shot in the face. Another resupply out of Daniel's hand. Four to base from Bossk. Super heavy ramp here early from Daniel. Feels like he's just going straight for the big stuff. My money's on Devastators and let's see what else could we have in there. I mean, honestly, if I'm Daniel and I'm playing this deck, I'm looking, I mean, I would have Relentlesses in my sideboard. I probably would have brought those in. That's a solid card in this matchup against all the goofy event shenanigans that Elliott wants to play on the control side of things. Chilson, he's got to show him some cards here. What's he going to show? He's thinking about it. You have to give your opponent information when you do this. Pershing, top target. Looks like takedown and I think a power of the dark side. That's a 6/6 Sentinel now for Elliott. Yeah, power of the dark side, super laser blast, top target, and Dr. Pershing. And then +1 in his hand right there that he did not show. He did not want Daniel to have that information. Salacious comes in and deals 1 damage to poor Pershing. Sorry, poor whatever. Salacious comes back, top target, onto the board for Bossk. And a Kylo's tie for Daniel. Bounty Hunter's Quarry now. We're going to just... all the bounties. People said bounty was a dead mechanic when it was first spoiled, and I was like, I think y'all were crazy. And man, let me tell you, the deeper we get into competitive play, I think the competitive play has proven that is not correct. You see bounties in some decks that even don't even have Bossk in them, right? Bossk, of course, wants bounties in his deck. But there are decks out there that play them that don't necessarily even play Bossk. Obviously, we're looking at one here with Cad. He does have a Relentless in his hand. He's got a Relentless and a Devastator in his hand there on the right, Daniel does. And I think a Timely Intervention to go with. I think he just, I'm not sure what he just resourced there. I think he's sitting on a couple of Star Destroyers. Definitely a more stable early game here for Elliott. Looks like he's spending 6. I think he's got 8 resources available over there to Daniel. We're going to Vigilance. Yep. We're going to Murder and put a shield on Chilson, which is then going to get pinged right off. So he murdered the Kylo's tie and then attacked, and then there comes Chilson swinging to the base. Going to deploy Cad now. I'm a little surprised he didn't take Chilson and swing in with oh, he doesn't want to go up his Sentinel though. No, that makes sense. Okay, no, I like it now. Bossk should, yeah, that shouldn't be a kill. He is going to heal all the damage off his base though from the top target going away. A little surprised by that maneuver. Cad's going to kill Salacious. Initiative's going to change. I'm a little surprised by that line from Daniel. I think either, I'm wondering if maybe he's just decided to, well, he's also drawn into a crate. I think he's sitting on a crate. I know he's got a Devastator. I think it's still a, he might have resourced the Relentless, now that I look again. He won't stop moving his cards long enough to tell. I think we might see a Crate Dragon this turn out of Daniel. Yep, there it is. Yep, I think he just drew into that, and that is definitely one of the big bomb cards you're looking for in this matchup, kids. Now, it's not a Sentinel, so Chilson is going to go smack the base around for 6 damage. Somehow we're 1 off. No, that's Cad. There we go. Okay, no, he played a. Oh, did he play a Super Laser Blast? No. I'm not sure what Elliott played there. I was looking down and missed it. Oh, I think he attacked Chilson into the crate. I'm not sure precisely what. I'm not sure this precise sequence of events there. Either way, Chilson is out. The bounty gets claimed. We get a dark trooper instead. Power of the Dark Side. Thank you, Nathaniel. Appreciate you. I missed it. Yeah, it was the only unit he had on the board, so that makes sense. Yeah, he just Power of the Dark Side it and get rid of it. Only costs him now. Oh, and he dealt. Oh, I know. He dealt the damage to Chilson off the crate. I get it now. I get it. Okay, I've caught up now. There's Relentless. Wondering when we were going to see that. Thought I'd seen it in his hand a while ago. Now, Relentless does not prevent Elliott from playing events, but it makes the first event he plays every turn worthless. It's just a blank card. Okay. That's a Bounty Hunter crew. He's going to ambush those guys in, and what did he grab back? Bounty Hunter crew allows him to pull an event back from his discard pile. Four to base with Cad. Elliott, I think, is what's interesting to me is Elliott's taken a very different line in this game. Rather than try to outlast and mill, he's going for the throat here. Just not a maneuver I would have expected to see out of Cad. Oh, McClunky, thank you. I would not have expected to see that out of Cad Blue, and yet he's got the tools to do it. Daniel's sitting still on a Devastator in his hand. Feels like the Devastator is going to be too slow. He's also got a Vader in there. I feel like he's got to get something on the board here so he doesn't get, well, he doesn't have to worry about Power of the Dark Side until some other event has been played. He is going to Vader. Ambushing into Cad won't do it. He's going to probably end up knocking out the Bounty Hunter crew, I'm guessing. Does come up with another Dark Trooper. So, Vader. Into the third Dark Trooper. Does knock off the Bounty Hunter crew. That leaves Cad and Dr. Pershing staring down a Sentinel and the Dark Lord of the Sith. I can see at least one takedown in Elliott's hand. He plays his hand very vertically. It's difficult to see what's in there. Pershing's going to draw him a card. 8 to base. Nice, solid hit. Daniel needed that. That's the first base damage he's landed this game. Cad going to knock out the Dark Trooper. Daniel's going to claim. McClunky going to deal 3 damage to Vader, presumably. What are we doing here? Oh, no, he's going to play McClunky for no effect and then fell the dragon. So the McClunky has no effect, and then he's going to fell the dragon on Relentless. And then come in with a takedown on Vader. So once again, Elliott has managed to clear the board. He's got a Reinforcement Walker. He's still sitting on that Devastator. There's some other stuff in his hand. He could ambush in the Reinforcement Walker. He might have a Timely in the row that would let him do it if he wanted. He's been through all the Dark Troopers. They've all come and gone. He's out of Sentinels at this point. Well, out of those Sentinels, I should say. I have no idea what else is in the deck. I don't think he has Cell Block Guards, but it's possible. I mean, it's a good pull with Vader. Obvious he's thinking about Devastator, but it feels like a little bit of a waste. We're going to Palpatine's Return. I love this play for a Vader. Going to play Vader out of his discard pile for 6. And then get something cheap and effective. He's going to get Punishing 1. Vader's going to ambush into Cad and send him back from whence he came. Good play. That sort of slows up the Power of the Dark Side shenanigans. Pershing's going to draw a card. Despite being way behind, I still feel like Daniel's navigating this match pretty well. And I don't think he's out of it yet. I mean, he's still sitting on a Devastator in that hand. That's never going to be a bad play. But he's got to very carefully manage the number of units that he keeps on the board, knowing that the Super Laser Blast is out there and can be played. Playing a Bazine from the resource row. There's the Devastator, and a resource walker. Sorry, a reinforcement walker, and a super laser tech. He lost the Devastator. Not surprising. Probably not the only one in there. At least you have to believe that it's not. Or I should say you have to hope that it's not. I think Daniel probably looking at, okay, I have to keep 2 to 3 units on the board at all times, but I don't want to. He can't afford to go too wide because the Super Laser Blast will just wipe it all out. Of course, there's only been one Power of the Dark Side go by. Should be another takedown. Going to clear Vader out. He's now seen 1 Power of the Dark Side, 2 takedowns, and a Fell the Dragon. And only the 1 Vigilance, if memory serves. Palpatine did return Rebel Resource. Somehow, Palpatine returned. We have no idea how. Because the script required that Palpatine return, Palpatine returned. Three from punishing 1. Elliott, not a very big offensive threat, despite having pushed through a bunch of damage earlier. His later units not particularly amazing. Going to deal 3 damage to punishing 1 with McClunky, and then knock it off the board with Cad Bane. My clown key. All right, Vader's going to ambush in. Knock off Dr. Pershing. Take 0 damage back. That always feels good. And let's see what he comes up with for 3. Another dark. I thought I had counted. Maybe I must have counted wrong. I must have counted wrong in terms of how many of those he'd been through. My apologies. I thought we'd seen all 3. Still 5 ready resources for Daniel. Plenty in the bank for Elliott. Super Laser Blast? Nope, we're going to Vigilance and mill 6. So we're going to kill the Sentinel and mill 6. Two cards in hand for Daniel, one of which is still that Reinforcement Walker. He's going to spend 2 for another Death Star DJ. Daniel doing a really good job just trying to keep a couple of guys around. There's our first initiative swap in a while. Elliott will be on the button going into the next turn. If you're Daniel, you feel, maybe if I'm in Daniel's seat, I feel maybe a little bit of pressure here. Right? Just like with only 16 minutes left in the round, you really want to win this game. Because if this goes to game 3, the way Elliott's deck is designed, you will not finish game 3. There's no way. No good to me dead on Vader. Keeps him out of play for a spell. 2 from the Super Laser Tech. Slowly, Daniel inching back into the game. Bazine showing some good stuff there out of Daniel's hand. Yep, going to lose them all. Not surprising. That Ambush Overwhelm is a great pair. He draws into a Palpatine. I think that's a Papa Palpatine. Sure looks like one with that Force Lightning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's Papa Palpatine. Going to nuke Bazine back into the Stone Age. You start to wonder how much gas Elliott's got left in the tank here in terms of removal. Yep, 8 for the blast. Cleans him up. I don't know Daniel's deck all that well, but I feel like you start to think about scooping at some point so you can get to game 3. Still sitting on the Walker. There's a Power of the Dark Side to clean up Disco DJ. That feels a little bit... I'm not sure I would waste it on that. Yeah, and that's why. You know he's going to have something else in that hand, right? And he's going to get to draw cards off the Reinforcement Walker. This is the beauty of it. I don't... like, most people play the Reinforcement Walker and heal, but you're not required to discard the card to heal. You can draw it into your hand. That can be really impactful in this game. Daniel's starting to get a little low. Looks like maybe he's got about 10, 15 cards left. There's... yeah. It was only a matter of time. He finally got... he had to just wait for the cards to come up, I suppose. And then they came up in the right order. Super Laser Blast into Avenger. Palp returns, Vader. Can't quite make what else is in there. Yeah, you got to be looking the end of his removal in the face. You've only seen the one blast, but you've seen about 5 other individual removal cards go by. Seven for Vader. Yet again. He's only got like 7 or 8 cards left in his deck. Does he even have a legal target? He does. Coming up with the silencer. So now he's got about 6 cards left in his deck. Plus he's still sitting on that Palpatine Returns. That Palpatine Returns could, like, into a Maul might be really good if Elliott bothers to play anything in the ground arena. All right. Daniel's got about 13 or 14 resources over there. Anything he draws, he can play at this point. It's a question of what Elliott has resourced along the way. Simply do not have a good vision on that. He's got about 14 resources over there. Cad is going to try and come in and capture everything. Okay. Now, last time Daniel had a decent answer for this. Let's see if he does again. We're going to timely. 5, 6, 7, 8. Palpatine. He's going to nuke him for 6, ambush in, and get his guys back. I'm not sure I would have done it that way. I think I would have sent some of that damage to the Avenger. Oh, no, that was right. Overwhelm damage. He put 5 through. There we go. That's why he did it that way. I can count. What did he just do? He perilous positioned on the... yep, he's going to perilous position on the tie, swing in with Avenger. I think this one's going to go to Elliott now. Yeah, that's going to be it. Well, okay, they're not scooping, but Bazine's going to come in and make an even bigger mess of things. He's going to see every Bazine. Yep. All right. Elliott's going to pick that one up and see what they can get in for Game 3 before it all goes sideways. Only 10 minutes left in the round. How am I doing? My timer is about 10 seconds behind the official timer, so that's pretty close. Oh, I see what you guys are talking about in chat. Yeah. If he pings with Cad, it's a question of where he puts the damage. But either way, if the Cad ping lands somewhere, that lowers their HP enough to then where he can capture both of them. Yes, I see the point now you're talking about. Well, Gudo, I'm glad you enjoy it. Thank you. I have put a lot of effort into this overlay, believe me. It is something that I have agonized many hours over. It is not flawless. It is not without its quirks, but I quite like it. I'm very proud of it. All right, game 3, only 9 minutes. Took us about 25 minutes, 25 minutes to play each of the other games. So let's see what happens here. I'm not sure what happened there. I think Daniel passed and Elliott took initiative. That makes sense based on the sequence of events that just occurred. Resupply. Yeah, you can clean up your leader there. There you go. Interesting. You feel like in Joseph, I think so. You feel like Elliott kind of got kicked around in game 1 by the bounties. And so now he's playing very differently to try to prevent that from occurring, and it certainly worked for him in game 2. Bazine clears out the price on your head. Out of Daniel's hand. Bossk flips. We're going 4 to base. No, we're going to murder Bazine. He's going to play a whole bunch more junk out of his hand. It's a Salacious and a Super Laser Tech, guys. At this point, I'm not going to flash the cards on the screen to save time because it'll take seconds that these guys that I don't have to give with the game going this fast. All right, Daniel in a little bit better position than he was in game 2 now. Going to have to deal with Childson. It's going to show 4, another Childson, a Pershing, a Super Laser Blast, and something else in there. All right, we're going to Overwhelming Barrage on Bossk. That's going to clear him out. So you started here and went to here. And we attacked for a whole bunch of damage. It looks like 8 damage onto Elliott's base. These guys are like speed playing. They know the clock is their enemy here. Well, Daniel knows the clock is his enemy. The clock is actually kind of Elliott's friend to some extent, but not really because both players get hosed here if they're not careful. 1, 2, 3. So now it's going to be a 5-5 Childson. It's going to smash the Super Laser Tech into him for a pair. There must have been another card in there that I missed. He ended to get full. Yeah. Okay, Cad hits the board now. Palpatine comes in and nukes Childson into oblivion and puts 2 damage onto Cad Bane, who then turns and puts his 4 damage. Nope. Elliott thinking about what to do with Cad here. 2 of Elliott's Sentinels gone already. Has to feel really good for Daniel. They still got time here. Just as a quick reminder, this hasn't happened on stream much today. We haven't had too many games go very long. But just as a friendly reminder, when time is expired in Star Wars Unlimited, you finish the current round you are playing and you play 1 additional round and no more. 16. There we go. Okay. Daniel trying to race as quickly as he possibly can, I think, before he gets Super Laser blasted. He's got at least this turn. If Elliott's sitting on a Cad, I can see a yellow unit in there. A Cad Bane would be really, really unfortunate for Daniel right here. I do see a unit in Elliott's hand, a yellow unit, but I can't make out what it is. He's going to power the dark side. No, he's going to fell the dragon on Palpatine. And speaking of dragons, goodness gracious, let's not screw around. 4 to base. Things going much better for Daniel this game than in game 2. But we've seen Elliott stabilize low before. 1 more from Salacious Crumb. Elliott's base health getting risky enough that just playing cards off of that dragon, with that dragon on the board, can become a real issue. Daniel deciding what to resource here. I think he's just going to let it ride. He's got at least 8. He's got at least 9 in the pile because there's a dragon on the board. Yep, there's the blast. Got to clear him out. Can't handle it. Do not want to take 10 to base from Super Laser Blast. Instead, he has to take 8 to base from the Super Laser Blast. 3 health remaining now for Elliott. There's Salacious again. And a Kylos Silencer. Oops, hold on a minute. We have made an error. There we go. All right. 3 HP remaining. Cad coming in to try and clean things up. Going to capture the little weenie guys. Is that a Ruthless? I'm trying to figure out what's in Daniel's hand. I can't quite make it out. He's so close. He's got 3 or 4 minutes here, probably as many as 5 or 6 minutes. He's got to find a way to do 3 HP before Elliott draws into a heal of some kind. He's spending 3 for a punishing 1. Elliott's going to claim. Looks like I missed an initiative change earlier. There's a Ruthless Raider. That's a huge pull for Daniel because now you can't even be excited about murdering that guy if you're the control deck, because murdering the Ruthless Raider will end your game. Elliott on 1 HP now. Nope, this is the first time Daniel's been on stream today, Chad. Adaldrell, I'll answer your question in a minute. I don't want to take my eyes off the game or I'm going to miss something. I'm pretty sure Daniel has this. Any card that Elliott plays to remove units will cost him the game. If he doesn't murder one or both space units, he loses the game. I'm pretty confident here that he doesn't have a line to a victory. But he might have something in his hand that I'm not sure. Like the no good to, okay, I can see no good to me dead. I can see a perilous position. Neither one of those is going to do it because the other unit will clean him up. He can play the Avenger, and as soon as he plays the Avenger, okay, I just sack the Ruthless Raider and you lose. He's going to play, okay, he needs the heal. That'll do it. He's going to come in with a Vigilance. He can defeat the punishing 1 if he wants. And then he can heal for 5. What did he do with it? He healed for 5 for sure. I'm not sure what he did with the rest. I'm not sure why the thing start trying to autofocus on me here. Excuse me. I need to put those. There we go. Okay, he put a shield on his leader. 3 from punishing 1 means that we are still now, Daniel's 1 action away from winning the game. Elliott bought himself some time. Now the no good to me dead again will buy him time. Yep, that's what's going to happen. Daniel's going to claim, and that's the game. Yeah, as soon as he claims, unless he's got an answer for punishing 1, there it is. Daniel speed plays it and wins game 3 here and should easily now make the top 8 cut here in Mobile. Well done to both players. An excellent, excellent match that almost went all the way to time, but Daniel is your victor. Outstanding. All right, guys, listen, ordinarily I would do some kvetching and talking and answering of questions, and we would chat for a little bit, but here's the thing. We don't have a lot of time. We're going to be doing a top cut here. I have to go round up deck lists and some other things.